Hi, this is Adrian Gomez, and this is part of the series on my YouTube channel, either, depending on how you think of it, continuing to build native Corona or creating your own plugin. Now, so I did two videos before in the series of building for native Android. And one of the questions that came up in the forum is, what if it isn't a plugin that is available in the marketplace or that comes standard with Corona? And this video, the first of these videos, I'm going to try to do the easiest way to implement a jar, a library, that is not part of any plugin per se. So I decided to pick Amazon Ads, and to that end, I went and downloaded the SDK, and here it is, Amazon Ads. And inside that folder, the SDK, there's the Amazon mobile ads. And what I did, so I'm going to copy this jar over. But let me take a step back, right? So if you saw the first video, I went into the template and I copied over the app folder, and I put it into mobile app. And I did exactly the same thing here. I copied the app folder that is inside the plugin, and I just renamed it Amazon Ads. And inside this app folder, there was iOS and a whole bunch of other folders, and I deleted them all except for Corona and the Android folder. I don't know why it says 2008, 2017. I'm not sure. And so, as I explained in the other video, you need to go into. I said you have to create a folder called libs and copy over the jars that the plugin, when you download the plugins, you would get. But in this case, I downloaded this from Amazon. So this is the jar that I have, and I did the same thing here. I went into plugins and under libs, and I just copied over the Amazon jar that I got. Now, this is the plugin template. So this is showing when you use this template, it tries to show you two distinct things: how to send events back and how to send a parameter. And basically, I'll show you what the code looks like right now. Basically, all this plugin library does, this example that is included, has two events. One is init, where you pass it a listener, and the other one is show. And you pass a Corona, and I believe that the template, without any modification, all it does, takes the Corona, looks it up in Wikipedia, and shows you the page associated with the word Corona. So as I said before, I'm going to modify this template the least amount possible so that I can integrate the Amazon plugin. And it works. And then in subsequent videos, I'm going to show you how to make this more your own and not just sort of hack together a plugin library. But this is for somebody who not necessarily has coded in Java and just wants to see if they could get an external jar running from within their Corona app. So what I modified in the Lua side, right? This was already there, the plugin. I believe this is already there, and this one was already there. What I did add was, and this was there, right? This is the listener, it adds a listener. I put all these X's here so it's easier to see in the console, these pluses, so it's easier to see in the console. And I'm going to modify this show. I actually modified both these function calls in the Java side so that they show a banner ad, basically. And then because Amazon Ads banner do not have a refresh, I created a simple timer here with a -1. So every 45 seconds, I refresh the banner ad. So let's go to the Java code. So as I mentioned in the other one where we were talking about native builds, you just have to go into Android Studio and open this up. Open up this particular folder, which is inside the original apps folder, which I named Amazon Ad, and inside, and in this folder called Android is what I ended up opening it up. Now, here, once I download it, it says incorporate your API into your project, and this is just the Amazon page. And all I did is follow these directions. I actually don't even have to compile this here because I put it inside this MIPS folder. And I didn't do this at all because, again, I put it inside the MIPS folder. I did add this activity. You see it says add it to your manifest file. So inside of here, think of this as that information that is contained in that file when you download the plugin. It's the same thing except that you're getting it from an external website. And so if you see in this manifest, I added the permissions that you'll see, and I added the activity right here. Here's the activity for the ads. And if you go read down here, it wants these permissions at the bottom. You see, those are the permissions that I added to the manifest. Okay, so far so good. So as I said before, the particular class is in plugin and newer library. It's called plugin library. In future videos, we're going to rename this. But as I stated before, this is the least amount of changes you need to do to get something working. And again, we had two methods, right? And the two methods that came with this library, with the sample library, are init and show. And here's show. So I'm going to show you show first. So every 45 seconds, I'm going to run show, and I'm just telling it that the ad view, which is public, up here. I have an ad view somewhere. Needs to be refreshed. And then again, this is mostly from this documentation. There's really nothing that wasn't from this documentation. And then I'm going to show you the init. Again, I didn't modify anything except the inside. But init is an interesting, because there's a couple things inside the init that are important for you to remember, at the very least. So up to this point, run, all this was already here. I am creating a layout, and most of this code, all the way from here, from this layout, to all the way down here, I copied and pasted from the website. That was an example. Add set key registration. This is my Amazon key to receive ads for one of my apps. I had enabled testing equal true and debugging equal true, but all this is standard code. If you looked at that website, it says to enter your key here, so I copied and pasted it. Since I'm not planning on creating a plugin for this right now, I could hard code my key here, put it in some sort of config file, and every time I build a new app, since I still have to change the manifest and everything, the native manifest, to include the name of my app, as I spoke before, you know, if I look at the manifest, I renamed this app Amazon Test, and there's probably other things you have to do here to make it your own app. Right now, I think it's Cabagomez Amazon Ads Test. So if I'm not planning on building a plugin, I could just leave it like this. I mean, it's not very clean, and it's not how I do things now. But But if you need to do this, you don't have money for somebody to create a plugin for you, or you're just trying to get the first step to see if you could build something, this is totally acceptable. And then I'm hard coding the size here, and then I created an Amazon listener, and again, this is mostly from copy and paste from the code, right? The other thing I want to mention is that up here, this again was from the documentation, just to reference the Amazon device.ads. And then I created a class, add listener, which Amazon add listener, which is just instance of add listener, which is part of the Amazon class. And it requires these 4 methods, on node, on failed, and then you see this thing here, dispatch event. It is a function or method that was already built for this template, and just as for the example, so it already exists in the template. So I'm just reusing it, and it only takes 1 parameter, a string, that it fires back to the north side. And dispatch event takes add, and since I'm overriding these methods that are part of the listener, I'm just echoing them back. And again, this would be part of the changes that we're going to make in the further videos to sort of create your own dispatch event that has more information than just a string. And then the only other change I made here is that I changed the event name to plugin Amazon Add Event, so that it wasn't the event name that was the default. But there's no reason for you to change it either if you don't want to. And so we go back to this method, the init method. And as you see here, I can do true, and anytime you see a call, like register app, right? Anytime you see a call in instructions, and it says register the app, and it's talking about context, since you're inside the Corona, this Corona class, you need to go and get that content from the Corona environment. So here I go, Corona, get application context. So if you're integrating a jar and it says add registration, register app, and it talks about some sort of context, then this is where you get it. And again, here I create the view, right? And when you create a view in Java and expect some context, so again, I grab it from the Corona environment. And the set listener is the class that I built up above. Not really built it, just overrode the listener class from Amazon. And then this over here, I'm playing around because currently it cuts off the banner ad at the bottom. And set parameter, set view, again, this is all standard and almost a complete copy and paste, except for the bits that are particular to Corona. Instead of application.context, I'm using Corona environment get application context. I'm using my own API key. I added these testing, logging, and testing thing, and instead of set listener as self, which is usual, I just created a separate class to be the listener. And that's pretty much it. If I run this app, which I'm going to do now, make sure my Kindle device is on, and it is, and you see that's a Kindle device. And that's the other reason why I decided to do the Amazon ads, because currently there isn't really much support for banner ads on Amazon. And I click OK. And hopefully it built. And now I could actually show you, if I could find the camera button. And there you have it. It's upside down. But and there's the ad. That's an Amazon ad at the bottom, a banner ad. And again, all I did was just hijack the functions that are already there for the demo. And I hijacked in listener and show Corona. I'm not really doing anything with Corona, so I could leave this blank or not put anything in there. But this was the exact code that was there, so I left it. And if we looked at the logs, if you look at the logs, I still have the same ad. I'm gonna cancel this. You will see that my app is up there, and let's see if this works. And then you see that we're getting the event. Login library, plugin Amazon ad event. And we are getting ads loaded. And that's the banner ad that's loaded every time. So it's loaded twice, and it's been the same ad, so I didn't show you the second time. I just loaded this third time. And then you see now I got a new one. New leather shoes. So hopefully this will be useful for somebody. Again, this is a video that shows the minimum required to get an external jar working inside a Corona. In the next episodes, what I plan to do is that first I'm going to pass these in. For example, the API key and the size. First, I'm just going to pass them in inline, and then I plan to pass them in a table. And I also plan to change these events so that they pass an event that are more similar to the ones that you're used to in Corona, where it's a type and action and phase and type, and maybe even I'll add the interstitial ads for this. Hopefully this was useful for somebody, and hopefully you'll get to watch the next one. Thank you.